Unprotected environment, unspoken topic, and unheard voice can definitely harm anybody in this society. So, happy morning to everybody. I'm Yasodhai Damodaran from First Step Institute, a gateway to unleash the potential within yourself. I'm a POSH consultant, and my consultancy has 50 wonderful POSH consultants who are spread across India to help companies to stay safe and provide a safe working environment to their employees. So what we do regarding POSH is we create a POSH committee, an internal committee that can hear on POSH cases. We spread awareness on how to prevent yourself from any kind of sexual harassment to the employees. And finally, we help companies to submit their annual report to the nodal officer. So what is this POSH and what are various things that are surrounded around POSH? My trainers are coming along with me and a beautiful panel to discuss about various things on POSH. So do like, share, and subscribe this YouTube channel so that you can receive more and more updates on POSH. So here we go with various speakers on various topics of POSH. Thank you.
Everybody.
Happy evening, Kishore.
Yeah, thank you very much. So let me start up this session today. Always, everywhere, in India, we see, hardly women's coming up, in various positions. Like, see, for example, I always admire Kiran Bedi IPS or my former Chief Minister Jayalalitha, and these are some of the women where I've admired because it's very hard in India where a woman can come up very quickly because what are the challenges they face, that is something which is very very important socially, personally, family, everything, in all aspects. Because in India the biggest problem is, if suppose if a woman goes and complains, saying that, that boy, this I'm seeing it everywhere in my college or in my street or in my locality, in my society. If a girl goes and complains to the parents that the boy, he misbehaved with me, or he's trying to, tease me, the first thing the parents, they ask the girl is, what did you do? They try to, corner the girl. See, that is the biggest mistake. The society, they don't try to, because this is what I even tell my students. Instead of telling, because normally now it's becoming a fashion, you dress in this way so that we don't see you. You better, start looking it in a better way. That is what is very, very important. Because only when a woman is happy, the home is happy. Only when the woman is happy, this country is also going to be happy. Friends, let me tell you all a very small story, okay? And then let's start it. See, there was a long, long ago, this was a very long time back, okay? It's a fictional story. Two kings, they had a war between each of them. They both had a war. Naturally, one person has to win the war and one person has to lose the war. Immediately, the king who won the war, he gave another quid pro quo to the king who has lost the war. He said, see, I'm ready to give back everything to you, but just on one condition. I'm in love with a girl, okay? The girl has asked me a question, and I want you to answer the question. When you answer the question, I'll just give back everything, your kingdom, everything, whatever I've taken from you, I'll be giving back to you. So immediately the king who has lost the war, he asked him, what is the question? He said, when can a woman be happy in her life? That is the question. You have to get me the answer. The lost king said, the king who lost the war, he said, just give me 2 days of time. I'll find out the answer. So he just went everywhere, everywhere he was just going around asking this question. Nobody was able to answer this question. Immediately there was an old man, he was crossing by that side. He said, can you see a mountain over there? Yeah, the top of the mountain. There is an old lady, not old lady, she's a witch or evil witch or whatever it is. I don't know what you say in Hindi. मुझे हिंदी में नहीं जानते हैं. Okay, so there is one lady, she can answer that question. So immediately this king climbed the mountain and he went up and he saw a witch. She was very horrifying, that witch. You all know how a witch normally looks, with the loosened hair, with the big eyes, black things, everything. It was very different. So this king was very horrified and he went closer to her with a, with a scary mood and everything. And he just asked her, see, this is the, he just narrated her everything. See, I lost the war and today I want to, I want to, get back everything. But, the king who won, me, he wants to know an answer for this so that he will marry that girl and I will get back my kingdom. So immediately the witch asked a question. Okay, you are going to get back your kingdom and that fellow is going to get the girl whom he loves. Now the question is, what am I going to get? What is my benefit? This king suddenly he went back by surprise. He asked, okay, what do you want? That the witch said, you look so smart, my dear prince. Okay, I want to marry you. Only when I marry you, I'm going to tell the answer. This king, without even hesitating, because he wants the kingdom. He said, yes, you tell me the answer, and tomorrow morning is the marriage. He said, okay. And immediately the witch gave the answer. When the woman is always happy is very true. That is the time she always feel happy. She has to take the decisions on her own on certain things. That is the time where she becomes very happy. You go tell this to that king, you will get everything back. He went and said that he told the king, and that king told to his girlfriend or lover or whatever it is. That lover was so impressed and she said, I'm going to marry you. And this king also said, I'll give back you the kingdom. Fine, go take it. And he took the kingdom. So he's a king. So he has to keep up the word. Next day morning, he went to the mountain to marry that witch. Suddenly, he saw a very beautiful woman, a pretty woman angel. Okay, he saw this angel, and he was surprised, and he was so impressed, and he fell in love at first sight. So he asked that woman, "Who are you?" Yesterday, I saw evil witch, sitting over here, and you are such a pretty woman. Who are you? That pretty woman said, see, I am the witch yesterday you spoke. Today I got converted into a pretty woman. He was surprised. Oh, you look so beautiful. Then now let's get married. Now the witch said, no, now again there's another condition because it's very hard to impress women sometime also. Okay. So immediately what happened is this witch said, hey, come on, there is two options. Now, when we both go together after marriage, in front of everybody, I look like a witch. But inside the house, I look like a pretty angel. This is option number one. Now, the second option is in front of everybody, I may look like a pretty angel, but inside the room, with you, when I'm with you, I look like a witch. These are the two options for you. So which option are you going to choose? He asked the king. The king very beautifully answered, this is a decision which a woman has to take by herself. You are a woman and you love to take a decision by yourself. So you take this decision by yourself and any decision, I'll obey it, I'll marry you. Immediately the witch said, when you started respecting me, a woman, you started respecting them. Hereafter, all throughout my life, I'll stay with you as an angel. And therefore, they both got married. They lived happily ever after. So this is the story. So my dear friends, this is what is very, very important in today's life because most of the places where women are being, they are being stopped. There's so much of, restrictions socially, personally, in official life, everywhere they've got a lot of restrictions. But these restrictions has to be broken by each and every one of us because, every time, somewhere or something keeps coming. So these things has to be broken. What are the other challenges? The main challenges, which is coronavirus. It's something a pandemic, but I would not say that is a pandemic. There is a trauma virus. Trauma, always women have got a big trauma. The biggest trauma is POSH. Okay, prevention of sexual harassment. People, the women, everywhere they get sexually harassed, whether let it be bus or let it be at anywhere in social places, workplaces. Workplaces is the biggest challenge. And most of them, they do want to bring it out because as I earlier, pointed out, the biggest problem is, the society always, puts the pressure on the women. What did you do? How did you know? When some girl says that boy is continuously seeing me, hey, wow, you would have saw him. You saw him. That's why, he's seeing you. So these kinds of pressure are coming on. So let us all work together and let us all make sure how we bring this out. That's very, very important.
So we should, hear from a man, right? What does he think, whether they are harassed? Okay, I think Kishore is the right person to answer that. What do you say, Kishore?
Very true, very true. Started the question, understood the question. Because men normally, that is what, see, poor people, yeah, men, because they're getting harassed at home by wife. Sometimes what happens is one of my neighbor, during this rainy season, Chennai was witnessing a very big flood in the past 2 days. There was a crack, in one of my neighbor, he had a big fight. I asked him, what is the problem you and your wife was fighting? He said, Kishore, there was a crack, in between my house, so immediately my wife called up, a mason and she was just doing the alteration work. I asked my wife, why do you want to do it so quickly? The wife very, very sarcastically, she answered, there should be only one crack in the house. There should not be two cracks. Actually, she was actually referring to her husband. So that person got so irritated and they started fighting. So this is what is happening in most of the houses. If you see, once I was being told this story. There was a husband and wife who always keeps fighting, where the wife takes the entire earnings of the husband and she locks it, put it in the locker, and she doesn't give the money. So what happened is, one night, as they were in the deep sleep, in the middle of the night, suddenly a thief barged in the house. So once when he barged in the house, the thief was busy searching for the keys. Suddenly the husband, he woke up and he just closed the mouth of the thief and he said, "Don't shout. I know you're searching for the keys of the cupboard, right? Where the money is there. I know. I'll tell you. Come here. Come with me," he said. "See, it's there in the purse of my wife, in my wife's handbag. Just take the keys." Then the husband said, "Chavi number 33. It has got, put that and you can take 3,000. Or chavi number 40 hai, wo udhar mein bhi 5,000 hai. So all put together 8,000 is there. You just give me 3,000 and you take the 5,000." Immediately the thief just took it and he asked him, "Why are you you're so such a good person?" He said, "No, that is the problem. I've been very good, but my wife is not at all understanding my expenses and she's taking all the money." Now the thief, felt so sad for this husband. He said, "I'll give you all the 8,000, you have it, and you have the keys also." The husband asked, why you want to give me everything?" He said, "I have so many houses to rob, yeah, but you are such a pathetic husband. You can be husband only to this one house. So you keep all these money. I look out for my fortune in some other place." He just gave and he went off. So this is what happens, my dear friends. Men are actually being harassed everywhere, also equally, verbally, psychologically, mentally, all these things. Sexually, very few of us are getting harassed. That's different. Even women also harassed. Why I'm telling this is happening. And very important thing I want to say, men's psychology. Men get panicked, when they see lot of women, together. See, that is what is happening even in this webinar. See, why I'm not switching on the camera? Because I don't want you all to see me. I don't want all of you to, I also don't want all of you to see at the same time.
Kishore,
So this is
lame excuse, Kishore.
psychology.
Please switch on your video. It's a lame excuse. Switch on your video. We would like to see the face
No, no,
which has given so much
again,
of
that will become
story.
posh. I do not know. Maybe that will also become posh. See, that is what I'm trying to say. Always, like I think Shahida, like she very correctly she said, please give the equal opportunity to men also, because most of the time, I've seen it in many in my college. I've seen, a teacher, when he gives a less mark to a student, a professor when he gives a less mark to a student, immediately the student keeps saying, "Sir, she goes and complains, saying that this person is expecting something out of the way." These kinds of things are coming. And not every woman loves posh, because in my institute, I don't want to tell the name of the college where I'm working. There was a posh committee. So initially, girls were very fussy and they were so happy to give a complaint on posh. So at over a period of time, boys, the entire boys, they were all scared and did not talk to the girls. All girls together, they said, "We don't want posh in the college. We'll handle the boys by ourselves," they said. And they are doing it. See, why I'm trying to say is, women have to understand. We have to educate our women participants. Posh should be like a weapon. A weapon is something we have to use it only when it is required. We cannot take a gun and we cannot keep firing every time. Posh is a weapon. Okay, so use the weapon when it is required. Otherwise, please do not use it unnecessarily. That is very, very important. Thank you very much. Over to you, madam.
Kishore, that was a quite interesting one, and I think we should call you as a story man. And you narrate everything so nicely with the stories. It was quite interesting and very good. And we also feel sympathy towards men also. But as we discussed, Porsche is a weapon, as you said. That is really true. And I think as a woman in anywhere, should be educated how to use it, how to, so that there should not be any confusions, as he said,